Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by Score Fighting Series Bantamweight Josh Hill. Josh, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Josh, you were supposed to have a fight November 23rd at Score Fighting Series 7. Unfortunately, you suffered an injury in training. What exactly is the injury, and how severe is it?
It's my ankle injury. I was a couple weeks ago, and another pair of guys that were sparring next to us came over kind of on our side and fell on my leg from the side, and I got my right ankle trapped underneath and pretty bad sprain. And I got an MRI actually tonight just to see. But the doctor thinks I tore some ligaments in it, so. But tonight I'm not sure exactly what it is, and we'll see how long I'm out for. But hopefully not too long. I'll be back at it real soon because I'm already starting to look crazy.
You have so much momentum going right now. You know, you're 9-0. A lot of the websites have you as the number 2 Canadian bantamweight outside the UFC, only behind Bibiano Fernandez. But with all this momentum going on, how difficult is it to deal? Because you had so much, you know, the ball was just rolling for you, and now you have this setback. What's your mindset like right now?
Yeah, it sucks. You know, I was really looking forward to this one. I wanted to get another 3 fights in this year, and you know, it looks like it probably won't happen. But yeah, and especially the matchup too. Rafael was a guy that I wanted, actually one of the original guys that we were looking to get, and we actually got him. And you know, he's an XWC guy. He's got a winning record. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, so I thought it'd be a good matchup for me to show a few more things like on the standing and stuff like that. And, you know, a lot of people just train them to start that starting, even though I've never had to before. But yeah, I'm bummed. But you know, I said I've waited a couple weeks now, and then see what's next for me. So I just got to heal up, and then we'll deal with what's next.
What's the worst part about this injury? Is it, you know, the pain you're in, you know, because obviously you're injured? Is it because, you know, like I said, the role that you were on, now that's kind of been halted a little bit with this layoff that you're going to have to do to heal up? You had an opponent that, you know, an ex-WC guy, like you said, you're not going to get a chance to test yourself against a guy who's been in a big show before. What's the worst part about this injury?
Yeah, definitely not like the pain-wise. Like, you know, I was hoping I'd be able to fight. Like, I was full time for until every day, just, you know, and then finally I trained on it, and I couldn't really do anything. And the next day it blew up again, my ankle. So, but it's missing out on a good opportunity. That was what hurts the most, right? The score. You know, I've fought them a whole bunch of times, but now, you know, they're live on the score, they're live on Access TV. It's good promotion, and it was in my hometown again in Hamilton, which I got a really good following here, and so yeah, those things which sucks really, and it's just you know, it's not going to be, you know, it's not a severe injury that's going to put my career in jeopardy or anything, but just, you know, it was a timing thing, it was just bad timing, and I think that happened, you know, a few weeks earlier, I'd still be able to fight. I wouldn't be able to train for about 4 weeks out before the fight, so, you know, you can't go into a fight, especially with a guy that's like Ravel, so I need to be 100% in there.
Will you go to the show and watch?
Oh yeah, I'll be there for sure. I got a bunch of guys, buddies and training partners that are all on the card, like Roy McDonald and Ricci, Sago, Ronson, they're all fighting, so I'm going to go support those boys.
Before Rafael Ribeiro came in as your opponent, there was a long rumor that you're going to be fighting LC Davis. Was there any truth to that, and why didn't that fight get signed?
No, I found out that I was apparently fighting LC Davis through his Twitter, which was kind of weird and crazy, but like the score mentioned LC to us, and we said, yeah, you know, that would be a pretty good fight, but here's the ones that we really, really wanted, and Ravella was one of them, and you know, the score like that fight as well. I said, if we can't get Ravella, then yeah, I'll fight LC, you know, not a big deal. And I guess there's just some miscommunication and whatnot, and they went ahead and just booked me to fight LC. I guess they thought it was a done deal, but Ravella was the one I originally wanted, and then, yeah, there's a whole Twitter war with LC accusing me of pulling out of a fight that I never actually signed in the first place. But so it was just a big, you know, miscommunication thing, I think, with my manager and the score, and it just, you know, it turned out it didn't look good. That's all it was. But you know, maybe the fight we'll see in the future will happen. Who knows?
The last time we saw you in action, it was at Score Fighting Series 5. You fought John Frazier. How did you feel about your performance in the fight?
Good. You know, John was, you know, he was considered the number one bantamweight outside of the UFC, and they had me as like number 2, so they wanted us to fight, and I was looking forward to it. And I actually thought the fight would be a lot more back and forth. I didn't think it would be like the way it was, you know. And my game plan was kind of to go everywhere with it. I wanted to take him down. I wanted to, you know, grapple and ground and pound him, but I figured, you know, he'd be able to stand up or sweep me or stuff, and it'd be a really back and forth fight and a grueling war. But, you know, once I got him down on top, I had like a dollar position. I landed some heavy ground and pound, and after the first round, I felt them start to, you know, kind of start to weaken, and I kept doing it, and, you know, it worked out great for me. You know, I didn't get to showcase everything I wanted to do, but, you know, I got the win, and I did it pretty decisively, so I can't complain.
Did he surprise you in any way, or did he come with the game plan that you thought he was going to try to do?
Yeah, he came pretty much with the game plan I thought he was going to do. He's very aggressive, and one thing I noticed a lot was other opponents, when he went at him, they all backed straight up, and he was able to put him on the cage and either pepper away with the shots or take him down. So one thing was cage control and footwork was one of the main things that worked on in this fight, just to, you know, not be a sitting target, and he always comes in really, really heavy and throws hard punches, so when he does that, he's easy to take down, and that was one thing that I was able to do pretty well in the fight, and that's, you know, pretty much how it went.
This is probably your biggest win to date, but do you feel it's one of your better performances?
Yeah, because I was able to take a guy that was wrecking everybody in Canada, and he's a very good fighter, very tough fighter. He's well-rounded, and I was able to, you know, make it look, as people kept saying, that looked pretty easy, and that was the last thing I would expect with the fight with John Fraser, you know what I mean, because the guy's good, so, yeah, I was very pleased with my performance, and, you know, I actually watched him fight a few weeks later in the Saturday show, and, you know, he got the win against the tough Tyler Toner, so, yeah, I was happy with it to get the win over a guy like that, for sure.
A lot of people assumed after this fight, after this win, that you just got over John Fraser, that the UFC would come calling. Was that a possibility? Did they contact your management?
We did. My manager did talk with the UFC after the last show, and yeah, a lot of people kind of got that mind they said the winner's going to go, you know, and I knew that was not a for sure thing, but I knew the winner of us two would definitely be one step closer and very close to it. But we talked with Shelby, and basically what he told us is it's just bad timing. Right now, the division is actually overflowing with bantamweights, and he said he has guys that he signed in the first quarter of the year that are just finally fighting now, and he has so many to fit in that he doesn't have any room to bring in some new guys right now. So he said he probably won't be bringing any new bantamweights in until spring of 2013 anyway. So the way I've seen it, you know, I was hoping this fight with Rebel, if I got the win, it'd be 10-0, and hopefully it was enough to get me in there for early spring, but if not, then another one. So it looks like I'll be fighting most likely at the start of next year, so hopefully that's the one that put me in there.
So many times we hear about fighters who, do you want to be exciting or do you want to win? I was looking at your record, and you have a lot of decisions on there. You know, what's important to you? Is it to get wins, or is it to be exciting? Because, yes, you are getting decisions, but you're not boring. You know, I don't think that anyone thinks that you're a boring fighter, but do you feel that, you know, maybe to catch the eye of the UFC and to get them, you know, maybe more interested is to get some finishes?
Oh, for sure. I definitely, you know, you see a big spectacular knockout or crafty submission, then yeah, over a one-sided decision beating, I think you're gonna have a better chance with the finish for sure. You know, that's what people like to see and stuff like that. Unfortunately, this hasn't gone my way in the past few fights like that, getting finishes anyway. But yeah, like I do think the win is probably the most important, especially at the stage in my career where I'm, you know, building myself up and, you know, almost at the top level in the UFC there. So, you know, I know my awards are going to come. Like, there's going to be some fights I have soon that come up that are just going to be, you know, wars. Guys that are going to, you know, put me in spots where I've never been before and have to, you know, make me dig down deep and, you know, make it just a tough scrap. So I look forward to that, actually. That's what I want. So, you know, the really exciting stuff I'm sure is going to come soon.
You fought Diego Wilson back in March of 2011. That was a 5-round title fight. It went the distance. How did you feel about going 5 rounds?
It was good. I was tired, obviously, but you know, I trained for it and properly, and you know, I know my cardio is good. But every fight I'm in, I'm tired, but I'm not tired to the point of exhaustion. I can keep going the same pace almost the whole fight. But yeah, the 5-rounder, I was thinking that if they're doing the fourth and fifth, how would I feel, and that's more importantly, how would he feel? So after the first couple rounds, I knew I'd be the pressure guy in the later rounds, and that's kind of the way it went. I was able to just chip away at him every round, and then towards the end, it was just I took his back, almost choked him out. I got down a whole bunch of times, and I just kind of dominated from that position. So yeah, my cardio has never been a question really, and I think that's one of my biggest strengths.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that that's a good thing that you were able to show people that you can go 5 rounds? Because if you continue to win and continue to do well and make the jump to the UFC and work your way towards the title, those guys at the top of the food chain in the bantamweight division in the UFC, they're a lot of those guys are very, very hard to finish, and the fight going 25 minutes is more than likely. Do you feel that that's important that you prove that you can go 5 rounds?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's awesome just because now I know that me and my body can do that. So any time in the near future, if I do another fight that is a 5-rounder, then I know I've already done it once. Then my dieting now, my training is even better than it was then. So I know I'm going to be able to do it no problem again.
You mentioned that when your management talked to Sean Shelby, he said that they were overrun with bantamweights right now and they were having trouble getting guys fights, and you said that it's more than likely that it'll be later in 2013 if they were interested in signing you, that they would come around during that time. But if the UFC doesn't come calling, are you just going to stick with the score, or would you entertain other offers from other organizations like a Bellator or something like that?
I don't know. I would keep doing what I'm doing now anyway, but I'm always open for everything. I don't close any doors. Obviously the UFC is the number one goal. That's what I want to fight, and that's definitely my goal, my dream. But yeah, if it didn't get in there, if something happened that were never going to happen, then yeah, I definitely look into other things and see what other offers come.
Mm-hmm. Last question I have. I'm just curious about your nickname, The Gentleman. How did you get that nickname?
Actually, it's something my dad and my uncle were just teasing with. I actually have a great uncle, my grandpa's brother, who was a professional wrestler, and he wrestled in the WWF before it was the WWE way back when. And one of his more famous names, actually, he was Gentleman Jerry Valiant, and he was one of the Valiant brothers, and they're the tag team champs in the WWF back in the day. So, yeah, one day my uncle and my dad were just kind of joking. They said you should go by, Gentleman Shasho after your great uncle, and I thought it was kind of cool, and it had a little bit of meaning and background story to it, so we just went with it.
Josh, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you would like to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all my gyms and my sponsors, the Tackle Training Center, my main sponsor, and they've been great. But everybody, and yeah, I'd just say, I'm disappointed. I apologize to everybody that was looking forward to the fight. Nobody was looking forward as much as I was. But yeah, I'm going to get better, stronger, and I'm going to come back even better for my next fight. So look forward to that one. Either end of this year or early next year. I'm thinking probably early next year, more likely though.
Josh, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it.